Discord makes me feel like a degenerate pile of dog shit, like some type of socially outcasted loser. Anytime I fire that shit up, which is daily. I'm not here to shit on Discord as a service because I think it's a very good service. Fucking everyone's using it for good reason. Like if I call my grandma right now, she'll probably try and drop me her like Discord friend info because it's just a better service than most shit out there. But I can't stand using Discord because it's so embarrassingly cringeworthy. I don't like using that word. That's a shitty word, but I can't think of anything else to describe Discord other than that. It's something that anytime I fire it up, I'm immediately just getting a bad taste in my mouth, like someone just blasted a fart right down my esophagus. The second you fire it up, you already know who made the program and who it's for, primarily. You know, the loading thing. Constructing additional pylons to hold your awesomeness. Watch out, they're firing their laser at our base, belong to us. Just the ranky-dankiest of memes, and that's not that big of a deal in and of itself. It's almost cute, cringeworthy shit, like, you know, a child going up to you saying, pull my finger, you pull their finger and they shit their pants. Like, that's not that big of a deal. But what makes Discord frustrating to use as an actual service is their entire company is branded around this idea of lol, xd, random, roleplay, cosplay, Tumblr type shit. Now, I have my own Discord for my streams at twitch.tv/moistcritical. You should go check it out. I stream daily, fuck yeah, love to see you there. I have a Discord for that where people go and they want to know when I'm streaming or if they just want to talk to each other. It's just a nice little community. And the thing is, if I reach out to Discord if I have a question, they are no fucking help. It's like I just wandered into the goddamn anime fan club as they're LARPing in the fucking classroom. For example, Kaya, when we had our old Discord thing a while back, reached out to their partner support team about an issue we had, and this is the response he was met with. Hey Kaya Orson, Springle here. I just wanted to say thanks so much for reaching out to the partner team. Our ultra-elite gaggle of partner support elves are crunching their way through solving your request. We'll get back to you quicker than a hoofer snatch after a rain double. All the cheers, Springle. Now you get a response like this and the first thing you think is I must have messaged the wrong company. This must have gone to a sex offender somewhere. This certainly can't be Discord. There's no way. There's no way they have a secret agent elf named Springle there crunching their way through my request. And what the fuck is a hoofer snatch or a reen double? I've never heard of these words before. Because it's all weird, like super high fantasy garbage. And it's not just like their support team, their whole company. Here's the message you get when you get denied for partnership as a Discord server. Now, a Discord partner server is like a, you know, a big deal, I guess, to a certain extent. So this is what happens when you get declined. My name is Springle. So our old pal Springle from the support team's back here, and this time he's delivering some bad news. Thanks for opening that email. It was getting a bit cramped, Kimpa. Back at the Discord HQ, our ritual elves have finished looking over your application. Once finished, they all hum in unison and summon a fortune cookie containing the verdict. It's fantastic and delicious, Kimpa. Without further ado, let's crack open the cookie and see what it says. Maybe another day. You know, that's a great fucking rejection right there. Not only am I getting declined by the most childish company on the planet, but they're also patronizing me with it, so I'm getting like some fucking fanfic for my rejection. Aw, Shinkledinks. It looks like we can't accept you as a partner today. I'm so sorry, but maybe one day you'll grow up big and strong and we can accept you then. Yeah, maybe one day I can be so big, strong, and mentally stable that I can pretend to be a fucking Springle elf. In the meantime, it looks like you might have what it takes to join our hype squad right now. I'd love to see you submit an application and join us at the event or convention near you. Thank you so much for your support and keep building, Kimpa. Hope I get to see your beautiful face again. My magic is powered by your love. Don't forget you can keep in touch with us on Twitter at Discord app. Until we meet again, Kulu Limpa. Of course, Kulu Limpa to you as well, Mr. Springle. That shit just fucking sucks to read. You know, oh, I'm sorry, you have been declined by our magical mystical forest of time-traveling wizards. I'm so sorry. Try again next time, but why don't you follow us on Twitter and join our hype squad, Kimpa? It's so fucking embarrassing. It's a service that I can never recommend to anyone, even though I think it's really good, because I don't want to subject them to this kind of company. Shit's sad. What they should have is they should have two different Discords. This should be like Discord, you know, children, Discord fantasy, and then they should have like Discord Pro, where it's like, you know, normal shit, you know, where they're not all up in your face like rubbing their mystical asshole on you and patronizing and condescending on you and shit like that. It's stupid. It's a really dumb idea for a company identity. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is not the same Springle as the Springle from Partner Support Team. The Springle from Partner Support Team, the Rain Doubler, he would never sink so low as to write an email like this. There's definitely other people parading as Springle around that office. It's a big conspiracy I've got. Got the fucking tinfoil condom on. I know there's more than one Springle there. Someone is parading around as a fake Springle. Now let's go ahead and see what it looks like when you get accepted as a Discord partner. My name is Springle. Springle again, baby. Fuck yeah. Thanks for opening that email. It was getting a bit cramped, Kimpa. The same opening. And then in the fortune cookie this time, instead of getting a giant fist in your ass, you get the chosen one. Wowee. You're chosen. It's a time for celebration because you're now an official Discord partner. I'm not saying you should print this email out and put it on your fridge, but you should definitely print this email out and put it on your fridge. Golly, this is exciting. All the perks are yours. In about a week, you'll have access to our VIP servers, ability to add custom splash page to your invite screen and vanity URL. How exciting, Kimpa! Also, the King of Hoodies has finally decreed, and you shall receive yours in a few weeks. The magic is waiting, so don't let the magic wait any longer. In less repetitive terms, click the button and fill out the form so we can send you a hoodie. Click to get swag. You know, there's just no winning with that email. There's no winning with Discord, no matter what happens. If I won the lottery through Discord, I'd still be embarrassed. It's just so silly. Like, I don't know why the company is branded this way as their identity. Wow, I look like a fucking psychopath. Kimpa. But anyway, I don't know why they chose this as their identity for their company, because this appeals literally to such a small portion of people, like not even gamers. This is such a sliver of gamers. Like, most people probably don't like to be talked to like this or have a service that treats them like children. They also have this list of words that if anyone in your server uses them, like if they say retard, your entire server can get nuked. Without even consulting you, without giving you the option of banning that person, they can just take down your server if one person uses the word retard in it, as an example. There's a lot of words that have like that, but there have been cases of entire servers going down just because one person in it said a word, and then the whole thing is gone. So they fucking treat this like it's some type of awful dystopia. It's such a good service, but God, I can't stand the fucking company behind it. And I just wanted to vent about this. We've talked about it on the official podcast, but I can't stress enough that there needs to be two Discords. There needs to be this Discord for whatever LARPers want that, and then a Discord for people that don't like to be treated like fucking idiots. That's just my suggestion. I'm no mystical fairy elf working for Discord, but I really think that should be in the future plans for him. That's it. So yeah. Over the past couple days, some news broke about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I just wasn't sure if I had the mental fortitude to even really tackle the subject in a video, so I've been back and forth on whether or not to even address it, because it's going to be hard to get through this without shedding a few tears, but sometimes I think it's kind of important to show vulnerability. I'm not some emotionless husk. Men can cry. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think that demonstrates strength. So you know what? If you're a man watching this, go outside right now, look at a beautiful sunset, and just cry your eyes out, you little bitch. Today, I'm going to be crying about the loss of the M&Ms spokes candies. Wow, even just saying that out loud was painful. It felt like poison and fire and flames leaving my mouth. But it's the truth, and sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow, but you gotta swallow regardless. It was revealed this week that the decision was made to bench the M&M spokes candy, the beloved characters of the M&M universe, which has deep and expansive lore that spans decades. It's some of the most well-crafted lore, up there with some of Tolkien's work, so to have them sidelined and even just blatantly retired is tough. They can take away our spokes candy, but they can't take away all the loads I've blown looking at them. God damn, those sexy M&Ms, the green M&M, especially with those high-heeled boots, hubba, Jesus fucking Christ. The nuts I've busted looking at that, and I know I'm not alone. For years, the M&M spokes candies have ranked among the hottest things in the world, like above waifus for weebs even, you know? I'll drop the sarcasm here. I'm sure for a while you've at least been somewhat aware of what's been going on with the M&M's spokes candies. For a long time, they were just like goofy little skits they do with the red M&M, you know, doing shit. Before movies at AMC theaters, they'd have that little short that would play where all the M&Ms get kidnapped, strapped to a rocket, and he's defusing a bomb, and then someone's phone goes off, and it's like, the M&Ms don't want you to have your phone on during a movie. Put it on silent, please. It was just a very large marketing campaign that used these characters for a long time. Well, over the last year or so, they took those characters and then gave them weird backstories. Like, they tried to make the M&Ms have some kind of relatable stories associated with them, so it was like this big marketing overhaul in order to deliver a message that, you know, everyone should come together, everyone is welcome with M&Ms, you know, let's unify the world with M&Ms and our fiction, our lore around them. It was a really goofy campaign and it got a lot of pushback, but at the forefront was someone named Tucker Carlson who had a fucking meltdown about the M&Ms no longer being sexy. Like, he could no longer, in good conscience, jerk off and ejaculate to the sight of them. He had this huge rant about it, like the green M&Ms, her boots were taken away and given like sneakers, and he lost his goddamn mind about it. And this became a huge meme, and it even became a point of debate and controversy. And then all of this bubbled over for the last year or so, and now they've recently come out and just completely scrapped everything to do with the spokes candies. Which is such a weird decision in the first place. You could have just said, all right, we won't even give them backstories. It doesn't matter. Because it's not that fucking important. It's just candy. You make candy, right? You're not changing the world. I mean, you're changing the weight of the world with how unhealthy your products are. But you're not, like, actually improving the world. You're just making fucking candy. You know, there's no reason to try and make these wild, pretentious statements about the candy you're making and the personality associated with it. It was a weird idea that wasn't executed well, but it led to some unforgettable moments and memes as a result of it. So I am a little sad to see that go. They've been replaced with Maya Rudolph, who's going to be doing a Super Bowl commercial for them. Now, I think there is a conspiracy that has a lot of weight to it, that this is a bait and switch where Maya Rudolph's going to announce, like, the M&Ms are sexier than ever, and then they're going to come out and all goatsy themselves or something, like a big fucking orgy. Like, I do think there is a chance that this is all just another big marketing push in order to hype up this controversy and play into it. But I also could be totally wrong and they really just didn't want to deal with any kind of, like, public, you know, outcry and hoopla, so they just decided to completely, you know, kill off the spokes candies. Just fucking put them down. But anyway, I went over this on stream and I want to show some of those clips just to go over it a little bit deeper, but that's basically the situation in a nutshell. Oh, they even put out a Twitter statement. America, let's talk. In the last year, we made some changes to our beloved spokes candies. We weren't sure if anyone would even notice, and we definitely didn't think it would break the internet. I hate that expression so fucking much. I really do. That is just so awful. But now we get it. Even a candy's shoes can be polarizing, which was the last thing M&Ms wanted since we're all about bringing people together. Therefore, we have decided to take an indefinite pause from the spokes candies. In their place, we're proud to introduce a spokesperson America can agree on. The beloved Maya Rudolph. We are confident Miss Rudolph will champion the... Who the fuck is this guy? He has nothing to do with M&Ms. We're confident Miss Rudolph will champion the power of fun to create a world where everyone feels they belong. What are these huge statements? You make chocolate. You just make chocolate. God damn it. What do you mean? We're saving the world one M&M at a time. This went like 3 different ways. This went fucking cattywampus real quick. Is he happy or sad? I can't tell. I'm gonna miss the sexy M&Ms. I still don't know what the fuck what the point was in all of this shit. This was the dumbest ad campaign ever. Alright, you guys remember the orange M&M? Yeah, so he has anxiety, but he doesn't let it define him. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll think about that next time I'm eating M&Ms. Which one got naked during one of the commercials? That was like, fuck, 10 years ago? There was the one where it like ripped off the coating. Do you think the decision to get rid of the mascots will hurt the company? Man, fuck no, what? The decision to even give them lore was useless anyway. It did nothing except... I mean, maybe it actually helped them because it got people talking about M&Ms. But no, I don't think it's gonna fucking hurt them. It's not like... I can't imagine there's a person out there being like, wow, I related so hard to the orange M&M, and now he's been benched, he's been sidelined. I can't in good conscience eat these M&Ms anymore. I don't see it happening. It's fucking chocolate. You think M&Ms each have a life story? You don't think the M&Ms each have a life story? Well, I mean, now they do. Or they did. For a brief period, I got to really connect with them. I don't know why the purple one Tucker keeps calling obese. She's actually thinner than the yellow one. And the blue one. These two are very rotund. Do you think they got paid their severance? I don't know. I'm expecting twitlongers from each of them, especially the orange one. About discrimination at the workplace for his anxiety or something. That would be... Now, that would be hype. If Mars went the extra mile and made a Twitter account for each of them, then we'd be talking. Then we could have a Matt Pat game theory on it. Didn't Kellogg's do this for Tony the Tiger and they shut it down because of furries being too horny? Well, they didn't do this for Tony the Tiger. They just made like a big push on Tony the Tiger on Twitter, but then furries kept drawing porn of him. So then they shut it down. Why would M&M just drop their characters? It's probably just the Super Bowl bait and switch. I don't think they actually dropped them. But if they did, I don't think it matters. Who fucking cares? Maybe one day the Spokes candies will come back and reclaim their glory, but for now, it's looking like we may have seen the last of this crew of M&Ms, and God bless. It was a great run. Well, anyway, yeah, I just want to talk about this. That's about it. So, yeah. EA Games. It's in your wallet. Nobody likes EA except for investors. Me going into detail about why EA is a shitty company has been done a million times before and not really worth the effort. However, with this recent controversy in their newest game, Star Wars Battlefront 2, there is a few things I would like to talk about here. Playing an EA game and putting up with the microtransaction bullshit, which is beyond intrusive, is just painful. It's fucking miserable. It's like getting a urethral swab of sandpaper. And in Star Wars Battlefront fucking your wallet too, it's the absolute worst system. You have to spend money on getting your loot boxes in order to progress in the game and even stand a chance against other players who do spend money. This guy on Reddit really started the whole controversy, which is erupting now, with this right here, where he proves it takes approximately 40 hours to unlock one hero in the game, and you can't unlock anything else. You have to save up your credits for 40 hours to afford one of the heroes here. And that's just absolutely ridiculous. Even the most elite of gamer samurai gurus will at least have to spend a week of constant playtime to unlock one of the heroes without spending money. And EA knows that number is way, way, way too high, but the point is, it gives people an incentive to spend the money to get the heroes, because no one's going to want to spend 40 hours to start unlocking things. No one's going to put that kind of time in there. But they would very gently toy around with the nipples of dropping $20 on getting a few loot boxes to speed it up and hopefully even get a hero out of it. And that's the whole idea behind the system. If you can get a player who just spent $60 or $80 on the game, have them drop another $20, then damn, you're doing some great shit there from a marketing perspective. But at the cost of losing some goodwill with the consumers, which Electronic Sharts already has none of. They're about as well liked as sleeping on a bed of broken glass. But EA's smart enough to know that it doesn't matter, because they hold some incredibly large titles hostage, like Star Wars Battlefront. People are not going to boycott Star Wars Battlefront. It's going to sell incredibly well no matter what. All of Reddit's up in arms. We're boycotting it. We're not going to touch the game. Let's vote with our wallets. And don't get me wrong, they've definitely got the right idea. The only way EA would change their business practices is if people stop buying their products. But Reddit's not going to do that. They can't resist the carrot that's dangling in front of their face, the fucking fleshlight on a string that they just need to fuck. So they're going to buy the newest title, and it happens every time. For the last 6 years, they've been saying, let's boycott EA games. We're not going to touch them. We're going to stay pure. And then within 24 hours, the entire R-Gaming subreddit is nothing but the latest EA title content. And even if all of Reddit did boycott the EA games like they say they're going to do, it wouldn't make a difference to EA, because the general population doesn't go on Reddit and follow along with the drama and the up-in-arms controversies. They just go buy the games and they have fun, they might spend some money. That's what EA really caters to. They don't give a shit about negative publicity or how they look in the Reddit's eye. They don't really give too much of a fuck. What matters to them is the profits they can make, and they're going to stand to make a lot of profits here. So I'm going to look into my crystal ball of ass and predict that this game's going to sell incredibly well. Reddit's not going to boycott it, and EA's practices are only going to get even worse than the Star Wars Battlefront 2 microtransaction bullshit here. Because right now, all of the loot boxes, all of the micro-penis actions are being shown to work and make a lot more money than regular games without microtransactions. So why would they stop? It makes no sense from a business standpoint. They can make far more money by implementing systems like Star Wars Battlefront 2 is doing. Now, after this whole 40 hours needed to unlock a single hero thing broke, EA actually responded with perhaps the single worst PR statement I have ever read in my life, and it has become one of Reddit's most downvoted comments in its entire history, which is nothing shy of impressive, so give yourself a round of applause, EA. It reads, "The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes." Yeah, that sounds about right. The first thing I'd feel is immense pride and accomplishment after mindlessly fingering my butthole in a mediocre video game for 40 hours to unlock one character. Or perhaps they are referring to the sense of pride and accomplishment after wasting more money on the mediocre video game after purchasing it. Man, nothing screams pride and accomplishment like buying your way to the top of the leaderboard in a video game. This poor Cro-Magnon continues. As for cost, we selected initial values based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments, no you didn't, made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at average per player credit earned rates on a daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course, attainable via gameplay. That is not at all what you're trying to do here. You're trying to make it so impossible to attain anything via gameplay that you have to buy them. The only challenge you've implemented here is the astoundingly high number of credits it takes to unlock shit. That's not a compelling challenge. It's also not attainable. It's about as compelling and attainable as somebody issuing a challenge to me to grow 5 inches in a week. To finish it off, this PR troglodyte finishes it with, "We appreciate the candid feedback." I'm sure you appreciate this candid feedback, as you call it, and the passion the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit, our forums, and across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback and update everyone as soon and as often as we can. Absolute bullshit. There's really nothing to even talk about there, but I have no doubt EA will tone down the amount of credits it takes to unlock things. A couple months after release, they'll go ahead and spin it as, "We're listening to you, and we're looking out for the little guys out there that don't have a huge disposable income, so we're lowering the credits." Yahoo! And then they, play both sides of the field. They make a lot of money in the initial launch for the whales that want to spend the money, and then down the line they'll go ahead and lower it down for us plebeians out here who don't want to spend on microtransactions. Now, as is common with gamers these days, they're very hostile people, and they were, of course, per usual, sending death threats and making all types of strongly worded comments to the devs and shit. Some John Wick level shit. "Oh, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna fuck you up real good, pal. You've really messed with the wrong CIA super soldier who retired recently and loved video games until you've done this. Now I'm coming for you." And so this guy, I don't know who he is, but I know he's a developer on Battlefront 2, posts this. "Oh, you're keeping track of them for legal reasons, huh?" No, you're not, Sean. You absolutely are not. You're not going to do anything legally. You can't do anything legally. What are you going to do, imprison over 1,600 people? That'd make that scene in The Dark Knight where Harvey Dent gets half of Gotham's criminals behind bars look like child's play. You would be one hell of a fucking force to be reckoned with if you could do that, Sean, but you can't. So please, devs out there, stop tallying up your death threats and personal attack emails and pretend like you're going to take legal action, because you're not and you can't. This happens every time a game implements an unpopular feature with the community. Gamers are very entitled and childish people for the most part. I don't want to say the entire gaming community is, but let's be honest, for the most part they are, because every time something negative in a game gets implemented, this same shit happens. These children send death threats. Let's make our voices be heard. Let them know that we're not satisfied. Let's try and ruin their lives. That'll show them. And it's disgusting. It's fucking pathetic. Those kind of people are very sad people, and it's almost even sadder that the community kind of looks at them as heroes. "Oh, you sent a death threat? You threatened to kill and eat his dog? Oh, nice. I'll go ahead and send one of my own. This time I'll threaten to burn down his house and then pee on his burned ashes. That'll be good." Let's see them try and implement another unpopular feature I don't like. They won't want to mess with me again after this email. It's just pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic. And it doesn't solve anything. If anything, it might even exacerbate the problem. "Oh, these gamers fucking suck. They're assholes. Let's go ahead and keep fucking their wallets real good because we know they have no impulse control and they're going to keep buying our games. Let's really make this one slap them on the fucking cockhole." I'd normally feel bad and speak up against this anti-consumer feature we're about to implement in Star Wars Battlefront 3, but after the emails I got last year, no, fuck them. They deserve no sympathy. They're horrible people. Go ahead, Harold. I'm greenlighting this feature. Let's really fuck them good. I just don't see the point, and I don't think I'll ever understand the outrage culture in the gaming community these days. But yeah, I mean, this is basically the EA controversy in a nutshell. I just wanted to get it all out there and talk about it, because it's really fucking frustrating. And yeah, that's it. See ya. Facebook used to be the cool social media platform that came and slapped around MySpace and put it in its grave. All your friends were using Facebook, everyone posting their status. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Posting pictures, talking to each other, it was the place to be. And then your parents and grandparents found it and it stopped being cool. Then it started to be all about how 5G reptilians faked the moon landing and the government's putting chemtrails in the sky that's destroying our sperm cells and shit like that. Over the years, Facebook has just become like Arkham Asylum for the criminally insane. A fucking disaster of a platform. And today, Facebook made its biggest announcement since it was revealed that they're selling all of your information to everybody ever. They announced that they're changing their name to Meta. Zuckerberg bot gave an inspired 40-second speech where he was once again devoid of even the most basic human emotion. He announced that Facebook is rebranding itself to fit more in line with where it sees itself in the future, and that future is the metaverse. I'm sure you've all heard of the metaverse by now since a lot of people have been talking about it, and a lot of older people seem really afraid of it. They're treating it like the next Y2K. You'll have like old Cletus and Ruth like, I'm fucking getting rid of these computers, god damn it, I knew they were from the devil. I'm strapping myself in, getting the shortwave radio out with my old double-barrel meat cannon. Bring it, metaverse, because they think they're going to be fucking vaporized by it. But there's nothing to fear here. Just take it from Mark Zuckerberg himself. Let him explain it to you.
Today, we're going to talk about the metaverse, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people.
Sorry to immediately interrupt here, but why would they have Mark Zuckerberg of all people talking about the human connection? This guy hasn't connected to a human being in the better part of a decade now. If I was part of the upper echelon of Facebook, the very first thing I would do would be to forbid Mark Zuckerberg from appearing in any promotional material involving Facebook. He just makes it seem like the company is run by actual robots and is completely soulless, which it absolutely is. But I mean, still, why have him be like your public speaker for the company? Talking about connecting to people. The only thing Zuckerberg is connected to in the last decade is the electrical outlets to charge his batteries.
Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually. It has things that are only possible virtually.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear. Alright.
I love how the in-game avatar looks more human than the real Mark Zuckerberg does.
Hi.
What's up, Ma?
Whoa, we're floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome. The metaverse will be like. Imagine if you could be at the office without the commute. You would still have that sense of presence, shared physical space, those chance interactions that make your day all accessible from anywhere.
Yeah, if you've played VR chat before, you basically know what to expect with the metaverse here. That's the impression I get. Obviously, there's a little more to it, especially when it comes to the augmented reality elements, and I do think it's pretty cool, to be honest. Like, I think it's a cool idea if it was anyone but Facebook doing it, but I love the idea of you going to work and you have like a Ugandan Knuckles or Big Chungus skin, and your boss is like, what the fuck is this? And you're like, hey, I'm in my ideal workspace, baby, I'm connecting. I also absolutely love the idea, like the wet dream, of Mark Zuckerberg and his team having a serious meeting in the metaverse, and 4chan raids it like they did back in Habbo Hotel with the pools closed. They just come in, shut that shit down. Zuckerberg scrambling like, oh my god, get your meta blasters, we're going to war. And it becomes like some kind of all-out, like, absolute metaverse catastrophe. In the real world, there's not a huge chance that a Facebook meeting gets invaded by people wearing a Shia LaBeouf skin. But in the metaverse, I feel like that could happen at any moment. Facebook's not exactly known for their optimal security and privacy, so I feel like it's just a matter of time before people figure out how to, like, go into other people's work. Kind of like how they already do on Zoom and just crash it. So that'll be pretty wild. And by far the most exciting part about the metaverse is being able to be advertised to right in your fucking shit. Like, right up in your shit, you'll be getting ads. Whether it's ads for, like, in-app purchases. Like he even mentions in the press conference, like, yeah, you won't even need a full TV. You can just buy like $1 TV and put it in your house. So just like all of these constant ads for all of these different items and utilities, as well as just different products. Shopping in the metaverse is probably going to be the most intrusive advertising of all time. I don't exactly know how that's going to look when it launches, but I'm guessing it's going to be fucking rough. Just picture this, you're kicking back with the boys in the metaverse, you're watching basketball, you got a dope-ass house, you got it placed in the middle of Mordor, and then all of a sudden, football game goes out, bang, it's Zuckerberg, and he's got something to tell you. It's just like, fucking picture of Goatsy, he's like, hey Charles, we saw you visited Goatsy recently, you like spread buttholes, here's some butt plugs, you know, and you have to like exit out of it or wait 20 seconds for them to play their ad or something. It's like, damn, just ruined the whole mood. I was trying to watch football, and now I'm just getting blasted with ads. I imagine it's going to be big on advertising, since this is a way to feed an ad directly to you. It's really easy to ignore ads on a screen, but when you are in there, like in the fucking trenches, living it, I think it's going to be a lot easier to convince people to buy things they don't need. Like, just look at it in the real world. You can sell something to someone's face far easier than you can just passing out flyers or putting on like a commercial. So I think it's going to be a lot more successful from like brands and shit. And I feel like people are going to spend far more money in the metaverse than they currently do on Facebook. That's just a guess. I'm just speculating, but I do imagine that's going to be pretty huge there. Like I said though, overall, I love this future-y idea where we're all just really jacked into the fucking cyber mainframe. I think it's cool. I've always thought that would be cool and be able to do things in a virtual reality space. Though I don't know if Facebook is really the company to lead the charge and make it the best it can be. Facebook is probably the company I have the least amount of respect for. So it's not like I'm super happy that it's them that's leading this charge. But yeah, I can't call them Facebook anymore. They're Meta. Which, you know, maybe that name is scary enough to get people off of the platform. I know, like I said, old people are already afraid of the metaverse. So perhaps they'll just up and abandon Facebook entirely. It's like, oh my god, it's Meta. They're revealing the true colors. It's Demon 666 Meta. It's evil. We gotta get the fuck out quick. So maybe just them changing their name to Meta was enough to scare people away. That'd be pretty fucking cool. But I mean, yeah, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this real quick because I found it really fascinating that a company as large as Facebook would change their name like this. Now, of course, they're in so much hot water with all the crazy shit going on with Facebook right now and all of the trouble they're in. So I imagine maybe rebranding from Facebook to Meta was a way of like pushing all of that under the rug. So it's probably more than just like, hey, we believe in the metaverse so much. It's more like, hey, this is pretty helpful timing. Let's just change our name and hope people forget a lot of the stuff we are now being outed for. So that's probably the most likely scenario, the more I think about it, honestly. But I thought it was worth at least talking about anyway because, you know, everyone's heard of Facebook and now it's called Meta, which is a stupid name, to be honest. That's about it. So yeah. I hope you've got your dancing shoes on, partner, because I'm about to hit you with a story that's so beautiful, make you so happy, you won't be able to stop yourself from getting up and busting out a boogie. The laughable catastrophe of the metaverse has lost the overall parent company nearly $700 billion and has begun taking a toll on Mark Zuckerberg's personal net worth. Zuckerberg could plant his entire tongue in my ass and it still wouldn't leave a worse taste in his mouth than the ongoing failure of the metaverse. It is just the gift that keeps on giving. It's like every single day we're visited by Santa Claus who leaves us a nice little treat in the form of bad news for Facebook that you just can't help but be excited for. It's just such a wholesome moment, honestly. It's a very short list of people and things that I'm always praying on the downfall of, but at the top of that list is Facebook/Meta. That shit sucks so much dick, it is embarrassing. That shit sucks more dick than my mom on Xbox Live Call of Duty lobbies. Now, I want to make it clear, I actually don't think the whole idea is trash. Marcus Brownlee just made a really good video about VR and AR as it currently is, as well as the potential it could have for the future. And it is very interesting, and I do see some practical usage for it, and I've always said I think there is a time in the future where it will be pretty impressive, but that time is not now, and it's certainly not with the metaverse, and I really don't feel confident in Meta being the company to lead this charge when they have so little to show for most of their work right now. Let's take a look at their stock price real quick. I went over it on stream and I let out some real primal celebratory noises I didn't even know my vocal folds were capable of producing. I sound like a little kid who just tried pizza for the first time and I'm making happy noises. Looks so good. Oof. Oof. You can't help but just celebrate. It's so joyous to see the incredible delusion on display here from Zuckerberg and the entire Meta team, who's continuously pouring billions of dollars into this shithole called the metaverse and just flushing it all down the toilet. It'd be more effective to just burn the billions of dollars. You'd get more value out of just burning the money as opposed to putting it into the metaverse. It is such a dog shit product. It's worse than Roblox. There's no reason to ever hop in the metaverse like with Horizon World or anything. Why not just go into Roblox? It's like a better metaverse experience. Like, the metaverse is 10 years behind VR chat. I made a video recently about their big conference where they announced they're going to have legs for their avatars for the first time, as if that's some kind of new innovation, like a breakthrough in technology. Even though we've been able to do that for like a decade now, and you want to know what's even sadder? It was a lie. The demonstration of the legs for the avatar was fake. It was pre-rendered. They couldn't even get it right for their own fucking conference. They scammed them. Like, they didn't even actually have the leg technology ready yet. It is so mind-boggling. They've poured billions and billions of dollars into the metaverse only to have less to show for it than a team of like 30 people with VR chat. The metaverse is just barely above Second Life from almost 2 decades ago. Like, Second Life might actually be technologically more impressive than the current metaverse, honestly. It is such a joke, but it's a beautiful, costly joke because it is just wiping value out from the parent company. $700 billion just sent straight to hell over the last, like, year or so. How can you not be happy to hear that? Facebook is awful, Meta is awful, but metaverse is the key. Facebook is a disease, and the metaverse is the cure, and the cure is just killing the host. Like, you know, once Facebook's dead, all the problems go away. You know, it's a pretty impressive solution. The metaverse is just that plague to finally just wipe out the trash that is Facebook, which I think is beautiful. Of course, I'm being exaggeratory. I don't think Facebook's going anywhere anytime soon, but it is on an incredibly remarkable downward spiral, a death spiral. But they have their fingers in so many pies they might be able to recover in other sectors, perhaps. But Metaverse is doing everything it can to bankrupt them as quickly as possible. It's doing the speedrun any percent dead business route. And it's doing an impressive split right now. It's going for a gold split. Now, I think it's important we shout out a couple of heroes of this story. So, big hats off and a salute to all of the developers that are hosing Facebook and Meta for all of this investment money. I don't know how you can pour billions of dollars into a project like this and have so little to show for it. They have to either be hiring the most untalented developers the world has ever seen, like literally going to local middle schools and asking who wants the code for Meta, because they are not getting shit done, or they're going to developers that are overcharging for almost no service and laughing about it in their face. So I'm thinking it's the latter. They're just going to the developers and they're just overcharging the fuck out of this, scamming them, and giving them nothing. You could give like 10 grand to like 3 people on Twitter and they would probably be able to put legs in your VR game before Metaverse does. I also think I should clear up some confusion here because the company themselves does a horrible job of explaining what exactly all this shit is. Unironically, Marques Brownlee's video is a better presentation for the Metaverse than anything Zuckerberg or that entire team has put together. When I'm talking about the Metaverse, I'm more specifically focusing on Horizon Worlds, since that's Meta's really flagship Metaverse title. And that's the one where you walk around without legs. You walk around like SpongeBob with the anchor arms. It's fucking laughable how dated and behind the times it is. Honestly, Horizon Worlds as it is right now feels like a little mini game that would have been at Disney Quest back in the late 90s. Disney Quest being that old arcade thing in Orlando. Used to love that place, God rest its soul. But Horizon Worlds would have been cool there back then. It's not cool now. It's just embarrassing. There's one thing that Twitch chat brought up when I was talking about this that I actually didn't even consider that would have been a really smart play here from the get-go. Why didn't they just buy VR chat or like purchase the whole team and build upon that game? They're so tardy to the party with the technology itself. I don't see why they wouldn't have started instead of like at ground level, why they just wouldn't hit the ground running and start by purchasing the VR chat team and game and building upon that for their vision. They're so busy playing catch up with things VR chat's had for years. Why wouldn't you have just considered purchasing VR chat in the team? I'm glad they didn't, because it's great watching the entire company crash and burn like this. It's a beautiful spectator sport, but I'm just a little shocked that they didn't consider that option as all, because they are very, very much behind. Like, it's not even close right now. Maybe it will be in the future, who knows? But so far, every single metaverse presentation they've done has always just been, we don't have any of these features, but we're thinking about it, and we might have them in the near future, maybe next year or the year after. Their presentations are always just telling people they might be coming in a year or two. That's not exciting, that's not hype, that's just sad. If you haven't seen any like actual gameplay from the metaverse, I implore you to take a look. I feel horrible for the community that's already there, all 9 of them, because they're getting a significantly worse experience there compared to any other alternative. Compare any of the worlds in Horizon Worlds to anything in VR chat, and the difference is absolutely shocking. It's night and day. VR chat is just so far above metaverse in every possible aspect. I just don't understand how, for billions of dollars invested in this project, they can be this primitive and this bare bones. But anyway, it's great to watch from a distance. So I just wanted to talk about this a little bit, maybe brighten your day with this great news, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah. I wanted to wait for VShojo's response before giving an update to this whole story, but with the way things have developed over the last 24 hours here, I'm not confident we'll ever get a response from them, because I don't think there's going to be anyone left at the company for that. It has been a complete collapse of this company, and it is still radio silence from V No Show here, and I've just got to give you this update because it is crazy what's happened. In a nutshell, VShojo was, I'm going to use past tense because this shit is in the dirt right now. It has been fucking blasted to Valhalla. VShojo was an agency that represented some of the biggest VTubers in the space, especially in the English-speaking VTuber space, which is a huge market. These creators pull in thousands of viewers every single stream and are responsible for millions of dollars being generated to the VShojo company. And what's happened recently is tons of that talent had been leaving VShojo, and yesterday, Iron Mouse made a video that really opened Pandora's box here to the scumminess of VShojo, where she explains why she is also leaving, and it's because they owe her a significant amount of money personally, but they also owe over $500,000 to charity that Iron Mouse raised for charity that VShojo was supposed to be responsible for donating on her behalf, something they still haven't done a year later, but I'm sure it's coming any day now. There's just been a big clog at the office, but they're very excited to get to it. And other creators under the VTuber agency have come forward with similar horror stories here about the way that they handled finances, where some of them also are owed a significant amount of money that they haven't been paid. So it seems like VShojo treats payment to their talent the same way I treat changing the oil in my car. I'll get to it eventually. It's not that big a deal. Just keep kicking the can down the road, and eventually my fucking car is just going to break down, and I'm going to be tight. I'm going to be real mad. And much like what's going to happen to my car because I just keep procrastinating the oil change, this company has completely broken down now. From everything I have seen, every VTuber that was represented by VShojo, all of the ones I can find, have either already packed their bags and left or announced that they are leaving. I have yet to find a single person that's like digging their heels into the ground, lat spreading and saying, I'm staying with VShojo, baby. I'm keeping here. This is my ship, and I'm sailing with the crew. I have not found a single VTuber that is standing by them, because it's a pretty indefensible thing that they are accused of here, and they haven't shed any light on their side of things yet, which, admittedly, it has been a pretty short period of time, but with so many people having similar encounters and similar stories about VShojo, it feels very unlikely that there's any wiggle room for some kind of justified reason why they've been withholding payments and not donating what they owe to charity. It feels like it's kind of, you know, checkmate here. I don't think a response would save them in any way, but I mean, maybe they could shed some crazy light here on like what's going on and why. I don't really know, but no one's even waiting for that because of how diabolical it is. And if you go to their website right now and like try and buy merch, it's just taken offline. Like you can't even do that anymore. So it really seems like this company is fucked. It reminds me of from Call of Duty 4. 50,000 VTubers used to create here. Now it's a ghost town, and it's VShojo's office. Real quick though, I want to give you like a bit of good news that's come from all of this. Iron Mouse did a Tiltify link in the description, and that's been shared a lot from a lot of people that want to support because the charity that she was raising money for never saw the money that she earned for them. And since this blew up, the Tiltify link has exploded, and over $600,000 is being donated to the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which I think is very, very nice. I think that is great. So at least something positive has come from this. But overall, it's just like a really sad set of circumstances because of how many people are now going to be out of a job, because I don't see how VShojo has some kind of triumphant bounce back, like a phoenix rising from the ashes here. Because it's not even ashes, it's actually just like feces. Like it'd be like, you know, the swamp monster rising from my septic tank. There is really nothing they could do to ever get their reputation back unless somehow all of them are lying, which I just don't think is possible. I don't think that's the case. I want to show you another VTuber that actually confronted the CEO of VShojo's Japan branch live on stream about how she was also not getting the payments she was owed for quite some time.
First of all, I was already planning to leave VShojo this month. Specifically, on the 31st. Because, VShojo hasn't paid a significant amount of money to me too.
っていうところはあったんですけれども。
So did you just say that VShojo JP itself was doing good?
そうですね。
In finances too?
そうですね。
You haven't paid me.
This was a pretty wacky stream. This shit goes insano style. Her confronting the CEO of this company, her boss, live on stream, and also the fact that her boss agreed to do it in the first place blows my mind. That is baffling. Like, humiliation rituals aren't this brutal. But here he is, and she is not holding anything back. She is not pulling punches. She's not sugarcoating things. It is a smackdown, and it is raw.
I quit VShojo today.
はい。
VShojo 辞めます、今日。
はい。
はい。31日予定でしたけど、今日辞めます。I quit. This is very wrong. ローさん。
はい。
Very, very wrong. You're telling me that VShojo JP was doing good? Looked like, at least.
はい。
Doing good.
払っていたとしても、ケイソンに払っていたとしても大丈夫だったっていう感じですね。
You're telling me you could have paid me?
そういうことです。
Then where is it? Where is it? I want it now. Oh. Did you just die? What?
いや。
What?
What a fascinating conversation here. So, the Japan branch CEO claims that the Japan branch was doing fine, and they could have paid her, but they didn't. We could have done it, but we decided not to. What, big whoop? You want to fight about it? So what? So as I understand it, he is saying that while they were thriving, they could have afforded to pay her what she was owed, but from what I've gathered, their hands were kind of tied because the English branch was struggling when it comes to their finances, which apparently caused a disconnect here where they couldn't pay the talent in the Japan branch because the goobers on the English side of things were floundering. That's my understanding of it from everything I've read about all of this. But either way, the brass tacks of it is a lot of talent wasn't getting paid, allegedly. And as you just saw, She quit right to his face. Just actually said, I'm fucking out. Where's my money? Put it right here. Set this shit in my hand. Put the money in my hand right now, or I'm leaving. Okay, I can't help but notice there's here. I'm out. So she left, and literally every VTuber I can find that was with VShojo has also left. This was a speedrun corpo death here. This was a snowball that turned into an avalanche that turned into a fucking meteor that blasted VShojo's headquarters and annihilated them like the dinosaurs. It went fast. It really reminds me of a classic blunder in the corporate world online with Artesian Builds. Anyone remember Artesian Builds? They were kind of like the top dog when it came to system integrators online. Well, one of the top dogs. They were a huge player. Tens of millions of dollars worth of like revenue. And then one stream, the CEO let his mask slip a little too much and he showed that he was a douchebag. I'm talking turbo redditor loser douchebag. Insufferable. They were doing a giveaway. The giveaway winner was a smaller streamer. And for some reason, he stuck up their nose at them, insulting them, making a big stink about it. Like, oh, you're just way too small. Yikes. Ooh, look who just won this giveaway. A fucking plebeian? Ooh, yucky. Pew.
2K followers is under my threshold. 3 days ago is within my threshold. Long streams, which is good. And Artesian Builds, GIF panel. See if you have redeeming qualities.
What happened if he's personally bought 10 PCs?
She.
I guess
Could be international.
Watching that clip back still makes my skin crawl. It is so cringe. It is awful. Even saying like, let's see if you have any redeeming qualities. Oh my god. But this clip is infamous. It sank the whole company. That moment was the stake driven through the vampire's heart. It killed Artesian Builds overnight. Everybody left that company, obviously myself included, and it died that day. The same phenomenon has just now happened to VShojo. Within 24 hours, everyone seems to have left this agency. I don't think there's any chance for it to make some kind of miraculous comeback. Didn't work for Artesian Builds, and I don't foresee VShojo having some kind of like silver bullet here, some kind of ace up their sleeve that would like save them in any capacity, because now too many people are aware that they're not a good company. There were things that were very wrong with this organization, and some of the talent that people love, some of their most beloved creators, were mistreated by them and misled by them. And I certainly didn't expect it to be this quick. Knowing what I know about VTuber agencies, their contracts are more like hostage negotiations than they are like partnership agreements. I thought for sure VShojo would have clauses in there that would prevent people from just leaving like this and then like, you know, publicly insulting them and divulging information about why like this. But I'm happy I was wrong here and that the talent does have the freedom to both keep their IP and explain why they're leaving and leave when they want. That's very nice that they weren't locked down, like shackled to VShojo where they could like shut them up and like try and control the narrative. As I said in the last video, VShojo is one of the very few VTuber agencies that I wasn't super privy to the behind the scenes work and the contracts that they do. So I guess the claim was right about freedom, where they do actually have like pretty breathable contracts that is allowing them to just leave like this. That is a good thing. I bet they're pretty upset about it. They're probably feeling very sore, not trying to lock them down and like prevent bad-mouthing the company and poo-pooing on VShojo on the way out, like many other VTuber agencies have built into their contracts. Again, not going to get too deep into the specifics, but this is something you probably won't see happen to any other VTuber agency. So I guess it really was true that they did have pretty breathable contracts. And it's nice to see that the talent is using that freedom to let their voices be heard and not want to associate with a company that they don't support anymore for some very scummy practices. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a little update to this because this was pretty shocking to see how quickly it all just collapsed for VShojo. This was a company that was worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. They had like 4 of the top 10 English-speaking VTubers under their umbrella. Now they have nothing. It's pretty crazy. And it's not like it was all because of Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse was just like the lightning rod that allowed other content creators to feel confident enough to share their stories as well, and it became very clear that VShojo wasn't a company that most people wanted to associate with. Anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. This is going to come as a shock to all of you watching this, but I'm just going to go ahead and be brave and come out and say it here. I'm dropping my pants and showing you the truth. I don't know fuck all about the stock market. I have absolutely no knowledge about stocks or any of that financial shit over there. I'm basically just a little troglodyte playing in a cave with my Pokemon cards when it comes to like understanding stock trading and shit. Clueless on it. But this week has been so wild with GameStop stock, GME, AMC, BlackBerry, just so many stocks exploding and so many overnight millionaires from Wall Street Bets subreddit that I've been fascinated, blown away by it, and super happy to see it. I've been talking about it quite a bit on stream recently, twitch.tv/moistcritical, where you can get all the hot financial takes from the fucking experts. Stop by if you want to put a few more inches on your penis in your portfolio, I guess. I'm just kidding, I know fuck all about finances, but I've just been glued to the topic. I'm sure most of you watching already know what I'm talking about, at least the gist of it. Some of you are probably actually millionaires from it with how many people made so much money off these stocks. But in a nutshell, on the subreddit Wall Street Bets, the community there noticed that GameStop stock, GME, was shorted by a bunch of hedge funds, or at least a couple, and basically what they did is exploited that by having everyone on the subreddit buying so much GameStop stock that it just kept going up and up and up, reaching astronomical heights, going up to like $400-something, I think, yesterday. And by doing this, they were making so much money and hedge funds were losing billions. Not an exaggeration, literally billions. And I had the biggest smile on my face and the largest boner in my pants I've had in a long time. Seeing them whining and moaning, complaining about it like, oh, this needs to be regulated. We need laws to stop this from happening. They're hacking the system. It's incredible. And then the people on Twitter that for some reason suck the asshole of rich people thinking that maybe they'll give them some scraps or something. I really don't know why. But then seeing those Twitter warriors breaking down, we shouldn't be celebrating. We're taking money from these billionaires. That's terrible. Oh no, my heart's breaking now. Oh, you telling me this billionaire has to get rid of one of his yachts now? Oh no, gee whiz, fuck, alright, I guess we should call the whole operation off. Like, man, it's been incredible. It has been so nice. Basically, what's been happening is exactly what hedge funds have been doing for years, but now all of a sudden it's a problem because the normal people are doing it. Internet people, college students, just normal average Joes instead of this rich elite douchebags, these corrupt evil people. Now it's a problem because they're the ones losing on it. I'm not your financial advisor, so I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of it, and I'm definitely not the one to really get in there because I don't understand it all completely myself, but I just love what's been happening here. Now, I want to make it clear, I have $0 in any stock in the entire world. Like I said, I don't understand it, so I don't get into it. But man, I have just been here with my foam finger cheering on you Redditors for the last week or so. It has been so nice to see that. I've read stories about people whose lives have changed from these stocks, you know, having actual life-changing amounts of money coming into them because of this, which comes right out of the pocket of one of these fucking parasites at Wall Street. It's incredible. It was great. And I say was because it's in the past now, because what's happened is Robinhood, the most popular app for this free trading of the stocks here, has just all of a sudden, inexplicably, canceled the ability to buy GME, AMC, BlackBerry, all of the big stocks that Reddit and the people were looking at. They've just canceled the ability to buy new ones, and by doing so, the price is starting to tank, obviously. So what Robinhood has done is spit in the face of everyone that used their platform, and I truly hope that platform burns to the ground as a result. To betray the people like that so blatantly right to their face and be the little puppet that dances for the rich is pathetic. Let me take you back to the past for a moment. You remember when Robinhood said this? Oh man, the good old days of Robinhood, huh? And now Robinhood's corpse has just been skull-fucked here by Wall Street hedge funds. And even Robinhood, who is known for stealing from the rich to give to the poor, has turned its back to everyone and shown all of us its ass. And let me tell you, Robinhood, we didn't like how it smelt. I would be shocked if people used Robinhood after today. And in fact, I'm embarrassed that Robinhood was one of the sponsors for our podcast, the official podcast. I feel super bad for anyone that actually used it now after seeing what this company's actually about. Absolutely shameful stuff here. To shut it down because people were finally starting to make money at the expense of the elite that have used them like fleshlights for years. Fucking pathetic that they're just going to stop that now. And let me just make this clear, Robinhood will never again be advertising with the official podcast. We are slamming the door in their face and telling them to get the fuck off of the lawn. Because this is shameful shit right here. It was so easy too. The name Robinhood was perfect. People were actually taking from the rich. And Robinhood, all they had to do was nothing. All they had to do was just fucking exist. Just sit there. Just tell people to take a vacation. Just evacuate the office. Just have nobody in there, do nothing for the week, let things play out, and this would have been a staple on everyone's phone for the next 30 years. Anyone that even had an iota of interest in stock trading, Robinhood would have been the main recommendation. If they had just not bent over and let the hedge funds fuck them in the ass and manipulate them. That's all they had to do was just do nothing. And they couldn't do it because the corruption is so deep. Bunch of cowards, pussies, parasites, worms. Man, it's sickening. Again, I had no investment in this financially, but I love to see people winning at the expense of people that deserve to lose. It's so frustrating that the corruption is so deep that they can just stop trading. They can just freeze it, halt it, give hedge funds every possible advantage to recover to the best of their ability when they shouldn't have that luxury. They should absolutely have to pay for this. Keep in mind, the hedge funds were betting against GameStop and tons of other stocks pretty much on a very shady ground, naked shorting, all kinds of terrible shady practices that haven't been enforced for years, and now they're finally getting payback. They're finally losing for betting against all of these companies, and now it's a problem because people are the ones making them lose. Pathetic. I can't express how upset I am at Robinhood in particular for this, because I did believe it was a good platform. I really did. And now I'm just eating my own ass on it. I'm just putting my own dick in my mouth here because it clearly is not. What this has shown everyone is that the system truly is rigged against you as an individual, the people, and instead favors the elite, the hedge fund, and shit like that. I'm sure things we all knew, but are seeing it clearly, and it's pretty scary. I think it's really upsetting stuff, and again, I just wanted to talk about it. I know there's other people that are like, this is market manipulation, oh, boo-hoo, oh no, my billionaires are being hurt by this. I completely disagree. This is literally just a collective of people saying, this stock looks good, let's all just buy it. And then it's like, oh wow, billionaires are losing money, I want to buy more now. Like, it's really not that deep. Now, if it was like the CEO of GameStop was telling people, look, we have a brand new business model coming out, it's going to make millions, invest now, that's insider trading, that's very different. If you want market manipulation, I think a textbook definition would be what Robinhood is doing. By shutting it down, they're making the price go down on the stocks. I think that's manipulating the market. They are completely restricting people's ability to buy it, which is driving the price down. Wouldn't that be like the textbook definition of market manipulation, instead of just a bunch of shit posters getting together and making money off the back of some evil people? But yeah, I'm no expert. It just seems a little fishy to me. I've got my Scooby-Doo super sniffer out and I'm sniffing a bit of a stinky smell from Robinhood here. I think that can't really be super legal if I had to guess, but hey, again, I'm not the professional here. All I can say is that, if nothing else, it's extremely scummy. And to try and spin it like you're still the good guy, like, we shut it down because we saw you guys were getting hurt. You were making too much money, your wallets were getting too fat, and it was making your joints hurt carrying around all that money, so we shut it down. No, we did it for you because it's volatile. You're welcome. Real heroes there, Robinhood. Really incredible stuff. So, yeah, just wanted to talk about this because the situation I've been monitoring extremely closely and learning a lot about this whole stock market universe out there, and it's some weird shit. But I couldn't be happier for all the people that have made tons of money off GME and the other stocks. I am super excited for all of you. And just one more big fuck you to Robinhood, of course. And also all the hedge funds breaking down right now and whining, oh, we need more regulation. Please, Dad, come save us. Oh, we're losing so much money, even though we've been exploiting the system very similarly for years. Please, we need regulation now. It's a problem. Holy shit, please, oh God, why? This is incredible. Incredible stuff. Those tears taste delicious. Like the finest aged Chardonnay wine. Really incredible stuff. Huge hats off to Reddit for pulling this kind of shit off. I think this is a historic moment. So yeah, anyway, that's about it. So yeah, today I've got the black shirt on for this funeral service for one of YouTube's first major content teams, Rooster Teeth. After 21 years, Warner Bros. Discovery has announced that it's shutting down Rooster Teeth. Now, they're not getting outright euthanized and going to the Shadow Realm or anything, because there are certain Rooster Teeth projects that will persist past this, but by and large, Rooster Teeth, as you've known them, will cease to operate in the capacity that it has been. With its closure, about 150 full-time employees will be laid off, with additional contractors and content creators taking a huge hit as well. Wishing the employees the best moving forward. I hope they find work elsewhere. Just a pretty sad set of circumstances all around, because I know a lot of people, myself included, have very fond memories of this brand. Rooster Teeth was one of the pillars of internet content creation for gaming for a long time. With series like Red vs. Blue, which were these incredible machinimas that really kind of changed the space for a while and had an unbelievable influence online. I still remember being this soiled diaper baby boy toddler, still drinking milk and having nightmares about cursive handwriting, going into GameStop and seeing a Red vs. Blue DVD for sale there. And I couldn't believe it. My fucking mind exploded out of my ears because I knew it from the internet. And at the time, the internet to me was still this mysterious dimension where, you know, Timmy Turner floats around in the cyberspace on an email. But now I was seeing this piece of internet content I was familiar with in the real world, the corporeal dimension, and I thought it was the coolest shit ever. And it still is extremely impressive what they were able to do, and for so long as well. Achievement Hunter, another absolute colossal success in the gaming space online. Rooster Teeth was just the gold standard for gaming related content for so long, absolutely crushing it, and it is pretty tragic to see how this story played out for Rooster Teeth in the more recent years. Now, Warner Bros. Has been on this absolute warpath, just leaving mangled corpses in their wake where they're just fucking frying everything they own. And it looks like Rooster Teeth is going to be joining Coyote vs. Acme in their dumpster out back. But unlike Coyote vs. Acme, this one I think a lot of people expected. I just don't think anyone was jump scared by this news. Yes, Warner Bros.' recent business strategy appears to just be friendly fire out the wazoo. It seems like they're operating under the assumption of, if we own nothing, surely we can't continue to lose money. But them axing Rooster Teeth and putting them in the Warner Bros. Cemetery, burying them out back, is not shocking. For the last, 5 or so years, Rooster Teeth has been really treading water. They've been struggling, and they've got no water wingies to help them. Social Blade only goes as far back as 2021, but you can already see that their views had stagnated and often would decline. Before this, they were an absolute juggernaut in the scene. So starting in 2021, they were averaging between 8 to 10 million views a month, whereas in their heyday, in their prime, they were pulling in tens of millions of views per month and tens of thousands of subscribers per month. There's a lot of factors that contributed to this decline, the main ones being just an overall loss of interest from a large chunk of their audience that just went to other channels elsewhere. There's also a ton of controversies that Rooster Teeth kept finding themselves in that they were never able to fully recover from, and a lot of their biggest talent kept leaving them to just go independent and make their own shows and productions. So all of this over time has just led to the current state of Rooster Teeth. It's not flourishing, and it's definitely not profitable. With 150 full-time employees and contractors and content creators, it's losing more money than fucking Madam Web. So it's not surprising that Warner Bros. Made the decision to ultimately just put it to rest. Like, they didn't have many other choices. I guess they could take the 150 full-time employees and just transition them to being door-to-door asbestos sales reps. You'd probably find more money in that than what they were currently finding with the Rooster Teeth brand, which is just sad to see it get to this point, but like I mentioned, it's not the end of everything Rooster Teeth related. They do plan on continuing the Roost podcast network for some time here while they evaluate outside interest in acquiring it. There's also a movie that's being worked on between Warner Bros. And Rooster Teeth that they plan on releasing. though I'd take that with a huge fucking grain of salt right now because Warner Bros. Has become infamous for just destroying movies that are pretty much done for the sake of a tax write-off, like what they've already done with Batgirl and now Coyote vs. Acme. So there's a good chance that this one they just wiped their ass with at the finish line per usual. And they are also currently exploring options for Rooster Teeth's content catalog and some of their IP like Red vs. Blue, Ruby, and Ginlock. So while there is still some Rooster Teeth related content that will survive Judgment Day here, it is still the end of the road for Rooster Teeth itself overall. The general manager of Rooster Teeth, Jordan Levin, made a statement, and I'm going to read this section of it. He said, "We've read the headlines about industry-wide layoffs and closures, and you've heard me give my perspective and updates on the rapidly changing state of media and entertainment during each of our monthly all-hands meetings. Since inheriting ownership and control of Rooster Teeth from AT&T following its acquisition of Time Warner, Warner Bros. Discovery continued its investment in our company, content, and community. Now, however, it's with a heavy heart I announce that Rooster Teeth is shutting down due to challenges facing digital media resulting from fundamental shifts in consumer behavior and monetization across platforms, advertising, and patronage." Now, there's a lot more in his statement here, but this is the only titty I'm going to suckle on from it. I think this part of the statement is the most telling about the challenges that they were facing, and it's challenges that anyone from the outside could also see them facing. As consumer behavior was changing, aka viewers choosing different things over Rooster Teeth and just having a lot more competition in the space, they were no longer like the only place for high quality gaming videos. As the entire digital landscape started to shift, Rooster Teeth kept falling to the wayside, and people were just choosing competitors over them, so they were hemorrhaging their audience, and overall just found it difficult to adapt in the new environment. And then the monetization and advertising changes they make mention of there, I believe the biggest things that affected Rooster Teeth was YouTube's change in how much money is generated by shorter content. For a while, it didn't really matter how long a video was. What dictated the amount of money it earned was basically just views. But then the focus shifted to longer form content with the addition of mid-roll ads, which starting at 8 minutes, you can start putting in ad breaks. And this led to a lot of the focus on the digital landscape being for the longer form content to reach that 8-minute mark. Rooster Teeth's most popular content was usually sub 8 minutes. Their heaviest hitters that were consistently their bread and butter content, like the animated adventures, Red vs. Blue, Rage Quit, aside from a couple of Rage Quit videos which were more than 8 minutes, most of their big successful ones were under 8 minutes, usually between like the 1 to 4 minute ballpark for a lot of these. And I just feel like they took a massive financial hit with that because the content they were producing wasn't cheap stuff for the most part. And there's no way they were seeing a return off the ad revenue because the videos were too short to be reaching that like upper echelon of doubloons that you'd make from a YouTube video. So I just think that as they invested more money into these big projects, without increasing the runtime of a lot of them, they weren't seeing a lot of big returns on it, which probably hurt them. And I'm just speculating that that's the change that was probably the biggest thorn in their side, like the most annoying rock in their shoe. But the entire landscape of advertising online and monetization has gone through huge changes since they began. I just feel like that's probably the one that was the most hurtful to them. But anyway, I'll stop speculating on that and instead speculate on something else. So a lot of people have been wondering now with this announcement, what's going to happen to all of the Rooster Teeth affiliated channels that are under their umbrellas, things like Funhouse or Slow Mo Guys, things like that, because Rooster Teeth had a lot of other channels outside of just their main one. How will they be affected? I have no fucking clue. It seems like a messy headache to me, since they're under the Rooster Teeth brand, which is of course owned by Warner Bros. Discovery, which has now pulled the plug on it, taken it off life support. It feels like the other channels are going to have to go independent if they want to keep them going, but I don't think they can just do that. They'll probably have to buy it from Warner Bros., right? Wouldn't that be how it works, considering they just got shut down by Warner Bros.? So if they want to go back up without them, they'd need to acquire the rights from them, I would think. But I also don't really know how all of these inner workings here with their deals go. That'd just be my guess. I would imagine a lot of those other channels, like the Slow Mo Guys, would want to continue to operate independently. So I think that'll probably be the direction. I just don't exactly know how that's going to work. But again, I'm just a fucking idiot, so there's a good chance that maybe it's not as messy as I think it'll be, and it might be pretty seamless going forward. But either way, it is sad to see Rooster Teeth shut down after 21 years online and being such a pioneer in the commercialization of gaming content online and really just internet content in general. Rooster Teeth was at the forefront of like breaking ground and commercializing this whole space. So they earned their flowers here, and I'm wishing the best for everyone that was affected by this with the layoffs. I'm wishing you all the best moving forward, and rest in peace to Rooster Teeth. That's about it. See ya. As they say, you can't spell diarrhea without EA. And EA decided to throw their hat in the ring during this turmoil in the video game space, with so many major companies coming forward and all collectively doing their best Cybertron cosplay and just imploding on themselves with these ridiculous decisions with their games and how they want to manage those services. They're all just putting their ass in their asshole and looking like fools in doing so. Most recently Xbox, before them Sony, before them Escape from Tarkov. Like, it continues to happen. And I guess EA was feeling real lonely, just isolated on like the weird kids lunch table, like, hey, we haven't done anything super stupid in like a couple weeks. It's our turn. Check this out. And their CEO comes forward honking his nose and pulling ribbon from his mouth and says, hey, we can't wait to ramp up generative AI in our games. Thinking that somehow this was like a slam dunk, like this is a good thing. Proud about putting AI in their games, which will inevitably lead to the loss of many jobs there. It's something that people have been warning about for a long time, and it looks like we're starting to reach that point. And their CEO isn't even bother. He's not even giving a single iota of a fuck about trying to hide the fact that they are going hog wild into AI to start making their games. That is scary. And not only that, he wasn't satisfied with just that statement. He actually went to double tap our ass with another statement, this time about Battlefield, where he said that Battlefield is going to be another tremendous live service game. He is so disconnected from reality, he's using the worst two words you can ever use in gaming. These are cardinal sins. This is like using Voldemort's name. He's using AI proudly and live service proudly. Live service is almost like a slur in gaming at this point with how negative that connotation is. According to this article, Andrew Wilson is saying that this is the largest Battlefield team in franchise history, with DICE, Criterion, Ripple Effect, and now Motive all working on it. And he said that Battlefield 2042 players made it clear they wanted an even deeper experience, and that a few weeks ago I was visiting with the teams and I couldn't be more excited about what they showed and what we were able to play. I'm going to take a quick pause real quick. This is a picture of Andrew Wilson. Does this look like a guy who plays games? This looks like a fucking android from Detroit Become Human. This guy looks like a video game character, not like an actual person who plays the games. This is the biggest corpo suit I've ever seen. I know you didn't play Battlefield or anything like that. This is a bunch of hullabaloo nonsense. Anyway, back to the article. Later on in the earnings call, Wilson slightly expanded on this with an amusing encapsulation of what they were going for. I've just spent a whole bunch of time with the collective Battlefield team, playing with their building, and it is going to be another tremendous live service. Another? Where was the first one? You don't have a tremendous live service. Battlefield 2042 was a joke at launch, and it is still one of my more shameful moist meters because I was very generous with it, assuming that it was going to be fixed quickly. It didn't get fixed for a long time. I know it's in a much better state now, but that doesn't forgive the extremely long period of time where it was just fundamentally broken and barren. It was a fucking tragedy and a stain on the Battlefield legacy. You don't have a tremendous live service record to pull from here, Andrew. So I don't know why you're saying another as if you just can't stop making hits out here like the Beatles. It's ridiculous. It's a fucking ridiculous statement. And no one likes live service games right now because they are so bad most of the time with their monetization, and also just how long it takes for anything to actually get added to them. The only live service game that's been crushing it in recent memory is Helldivers 2. But anyway, I won't fixate too much on this Andrew Wilson statement about Battlefield. Instead, I want to focus on the generative AI statement, because that one is extraordinarily alarming for the entire video game industry. He apparently wants it as quickly as possible, so it's coming. Brace yourself. And if you work in the industry, my heart is breaking for you. EA is not even being shy about it. Andrew Wilson thinks AI could be the holy grail for at least half of EA's development process. AKA, can't wait to start laying people off and saving money. Yeah, I think the second EA starts making all of their games have this huge AI integration in their development process and laying people off is the day that I will pirate every single EA game forever. Does EA honestly think people will support this? I think he is so disconnected from reality. Andrew Wilson probably thought that this was a major PR win. AI! Kids are gonna love that shit. It's so new! Oh my god, it's like when Joe Biden and Trump argue with each other on TikTok with AI. People love it. They're gonna love it in our games. So despite the games industry's mixed feelings about generative AI, EA CEO Andrew Wilson is anxious to apply it wherever he can. In a call with investors on Tuesday, Wilson said he's working to implement generative AI as quickly as possible throughout the development process. He thinks the technology could unlock EA's holy grail, which is to build bigger, more innovative, more creative, more fun games more quickly. And at half the cost, because you're getting rid of all of your actual workers on it. I mean, that's the big thing. I don't know why he's being coy about it. It's no secret that Wilson is a fan of artificial intelligence. In March, the executive bragged that EA was AI native, and that some of its games players' runs had already been augmented by AI. He added that because of how large today's games tend to be, AI could help expedite the game development process. Strangely, Wilson also rattled off an idea involving an EA AI platform which could see 3 billion players around the world creating personal content and expanding and enhancing the universes that EA creates. What in the fuck is that? What kind of lunacy? Can someone take my man off the crack pipe? Now they want us to develop the game? Fuck that. Isn't that a cool idea? We're gonna build an EA AI platform where players can build their own games that we can monetize. So then we don't even need to hire developers. We can just have the gamers do it for us. Genius! Andrew Wilson is in the laboratory concocting something quite foul. Fortnite approach? Kind of. The difference with the Fortnite approach, though, is that it's not AI. Like, it's still players building games. And Fortnite gives them a massive cut of the profits. They do a really good profit split with the Fortnite custom community. As far as everyday game development goes, Wilson thinks AI is nearly ready to positively impact at least 50% of EA's processes. That's based on an early assessment of EA's entire development pipeline, according to Wilson in his investor call comments on Tuesday. As we think about the first pillar of generative AI for us, we're really looking at how it can make us more efficient, how it can give our developers more power, how it can give them back more time and allow them to get to the fun more quickly. And we've got teams across the company really looking to execute that. That's not how it's going to be used, Andrew. Don't you ever lie to me again. I've said this before. I think AI can be a really good tool, especially in game development, for some of the grunt work that they just put people on for the sake of having them do something, but no one really likes doing it. So like random world NPCs coming up with just throwaway dialogue lines, you can just delegate that to an AI to just spit those out endlessly. Things like that, like actual tedium grunt work that they don't even really hire people for, they just put people from other positions on. I think if you just give that to AI, that's a positive use. But that is not how EA is going to use it. Not at all. That is not what they're going to use it for. Like I mentioned on stream, there is actual good usage for AI in game development if you give it as a tool to the developers themselves as opposed to replacing them with it, which I think is the long-term goal for companies like EA. I think a developer can use AI to help ease the burden of some of the more tedious processes, like I mentioned with like throwaway dialogue and NPCs, or lip syncing. So I didn't know this until Stream mentioned it, but apparently Final Fantasy VII Rebirth used AI to help with lip syncing. That is another positive use I can see for it, because at that point it is a tool being used by the developers to help in their art. It's not taking away any jobs, because it's not like they were going to bring on a lip-syncing specialist. It was going to still be the exact same team, with many of them just having to bite down and just fucking grit their teeth and just do the tedious lip-syncing chores. Whereas with AI, they can just give that grunt work to the AI. It doesn't take away any jobs, it doesn't step on any creative toes or anything at all. It is literally just being used by the creatives to help in their vision, and help them focus on the bigger things with their art. I think that is another good use of AI, but I don't see a company like EA using AI for these purposes. EA is a company that would be putting nicotine in your controllers if it was able to make you more hooked on their products and spend more in their games with their monetization models. They are not a company that is going to be using AI to just help their employees. It's going to be used to try and phase them out over time so they can save money on those salaries. 100%. That is the goal with it. They'll be able to churn out more games faster with less work behind them, like less salaried work behind them, and I think to them, that's the holy grail that Andrew Wilson is referring to. So it's just a really grim future for games once they start integrating AI into it. And EA isn't being shy at all. He is coming out and saying they can't wait to ramp up their AI. And that shit sucks. That is just classic EA garbage right there. And I just had to talk about this. It's another big video games industry misfire here. Like, I don't understand how so many of these companies keep doing this all so quickly back to back to back to back to back. I'm curious to see how many more are going to come forward and do something like this as well. That's really about it. So yeah. Do I look awake to you right now? I hope not, because I'm pretty sure I'm sleeping, stuck in a nightmare of streaming services. It's so exhausting. Chick-Fil-A is apparently launching their own streaming service. Kind of. It's more so the company that owns Chick-Fil-A is launching a streaming platform, but even still, there's a lot of silliness to touch on with this. I've already been shaking my fist at the clouds about how absurd streaming platforms have become, and every company on the planet is fishing for any possible excuse to launch a streaming service to try and wring you out like a towel to get a couple extra doubloons to fall out of your wallet. And today it's been reported that Chick-fil-A is putting their ass on that toilet seat as well. They're going to be having their own streaming service, apparently. Chick-fil-A being closed on Sunday has given the executives some extra time to cook up some of the worst ideas imaginable. So, before going into the nitty-gritty and diving into the weeds, I think most sane people would probably write this off as a horrible idea. They're a fast food restaurant. They're not in the entertainment industry. They don't have a catalog of productions or anything except for like the Eat More Chicken commercials. But you can't really launch a streaming service that's just Eat More Chicken animated adventures or whatever. It's super stupid. It's not like they're gonna fill their Chick-fil-A Plus with, you know, Martin Scorsese exclusives or anything. It would very likely be just quickly shot, haphazardly thrown together garbage, would be my guess. Again, Chick-fil-A is in the fast food industry, not the entertainment industry. The only thing they entertain is my butt with a little extra poop when I eat too many chicken nuggets. According to Deadline, Chick-fil-A is working with a number of production companies and traditional studios to create multiple original shows for a streaming platform debuting sometime later this year. So mark your calendars, it's coming pretty soon. I can't wait. Maybe this is going to be the platform that picks up Halo Season 3. Imagine how blessed that would be. Halo partnering with Chick-fil-A to deliver the worst adaptation mankind has ever experienced, and bringing more of it. Thank God. Initially, the restaurant is said to be focused on family-friendly, unscripted programming, including a game show produced by Glassman Media and Sugar 23. I'd never heard of either of those companies, so I looked them up. Glassman Media has this impressive resume here. I've heard of 3 things on here: The Wall, and Bingo. All the others I'm in the dark on. Ex-Wives Club sounds like an absolute banger, and The Cowboy Way looks like Ram Ranch, and it was so good they brought it back to Ultimate Cowboy. Those actually look like the covers to those like erotic novels that you see on TikTok from time to time, or like a Chuck Tingle book or something. Maybe the show is incredible. Maybe it absolutely claps cheeks. I couldn't tell you. But The Cowboy Way and Ultimate Cowboy really caught my eye. And of course, I'd never heard of Sugar 23 either. It sounds like a screen name a Predator would have used before being busted by Chris Hansen. But I looked into Sugar 23, and I don't really understand. So on their website, it's a bunch of buzzwords about innovation. It's a talent management and production company that's been reimagined, which to me sounds like one of those Michelin-starred restaurant, like, pretentious menu items. It's a deconstructed hot dog using squid. But they keep talking about, you know, the mission to impact culture through entertainment, world-class entertainment executives in scripted and unscripted TV, film, and podcast. They create original premium content for global distribution. And here's one of their examples: P&G Studios, Time Studios, and the secret sauce, Sugar 23. I love that they call themselves the secret sauce. That is adorable. Came together to make a star-driven documentary series focused on making the world a better place. Sounds very wholesome. Quick side note, you know what I'm really tired of? Star-driven anything. The Borderlands movie should prove once and for all that people don't really give a fuck about the star power behind a film if everything else about it is terrible. This probably doesn't apply to that documentary series. Again, I don't know anything about it. But just that word star-driven or star-studded, that word is foul to me now. It's like poison. Let the material of the production speak for itself, and if there's great actors and actresses attached to it that people know, then that's just a bonus. It shouldn't be the selling point of a movie. You've just wasted a ton of money on an absolute dog shit script, talking about Borderlands here, and paid hand over fist oodles, millions upon millions of clams for a bunch of A-list actors and actresses that don't want to be in it and can't save it. It's just a waste. Anyway though, Glassman Media and Sugar23 that we just learned about through this quick lore breakdown, this adventure I went on, they are slated to be working on this in some capacity, but down the line, the currently unnamed service could also feature original scripted series, animation, and content that's either licensed or acquired from other entertainment outfits. And thus is the curse of streaming services. Anytime one of these fucking things sprouts up, they always take from other already existing streaming platforms to try and get fans of whatever that product was to just immediately buy a subscription to your new one so that way they can continue to watch it. I hate that practice so much. Like, if you go to try and watch the entire Pokemon series, like Donkey illustrated in his video about streaming services, you have to go to, I think it was 7 different platforms to watch the entire series or something crazy like that. It's unacceptable. Like, that should just be illegal. It really should. It's such a headache. It's such a nuisance, and it's extremely expensive to do that. It costs more than cable for that, obviously. And if you have just one streaming service, your catalog is constantly dwindling and constantly subject to change, normally for the worst, because other streaming services are starting to poach from it. It just sucks. It super sucks. Companies don't really suffer for it, but consumers do. So I just imagine a world where Chick-Fil-A All Day Turbo Vision Plus, or whatever they're going to call the service, comes up and they just say, you know what, we're going to grab a couple of seasons from all of these different shows, this mishmash of a ton of beloved properties, and immediately slap them on our platform, and hopefully we can get some of those fans to just buy a subscription here so they can continue to watch what they love. I hate that. Like, it's so awful. I am beyond tired of all of these streaming platforms. It's so unnecessary. It's like Horcruxes. You have to just like defeat all of these other streaming platforms, kill them, let them die out, so that way you could just defeat this streaming menace and stop the gold rush once and for all. It's the only way. Chick-Fil-A hasn't announced or publicly commented on the programming initiative, but a pivot into entertainment production could be part of a bigger advertising or customer data play. Customer data is more valuable than money at this point. Every single company on the planet is doing everything they can to grab as much data as possible. It is the #1 currency in the world, period. It's fucking crazy how much they salivate over data. But anyway, Disney does it with Disney Plus, and it drove Walmart's interest in streaming, which ultimately led to partnering with Paramount Plus. I highly doubt that if this streaming platform launches, and it seems like it's going to, it's not really a question of if, more of when. It seems like they're already so far down the pipeline here that it's coming. And I just have no confidence in the quality of the shows they're going to slap on there. I just have no faith that there's going to be anything worth watching from the Chick-Fil-A streaming platform. Now, maybe this will age terribly. Maybe in a year from now, this will be the #1 platform. It produces just heater after heater. It's nothing but top tier level shows, but I'm just gonna stamp my nuts on this here. I bet it's gonna come out and it's gonna be fucking flops. It's gonna be a clunker. I'm speculating that this streaming service is going to go the way of Quibi. If any of you remember Quibi, God rest its soul. It came out and it raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and it tried to be this platform that delivered like big budget short form shows and movies, and they were all terrible. And that has since closed its doors, but it was a very expensive endeavor, and it was a very stinky one. I'm catching a whiff of that same smell with this pivot here from Chick-Fil-A. It's a smell that smells smelly. I'm huffing these rancid fumes, and I think it's just going to be completely worthless. That's my prediction, but I'm no Nostradamus, so we'll see. I'm not Baba Vanga, you know. But here's a very important tidbit here. The idea of a company launching an entire streaming service filled with feel-good stories just to sell chicken is a bit odd. Peculiar indeed, but those stories might just feel super good and have you scratching at your neck for some chicken. It feels important to bear in mind that Chick-Fil-A is owned by the Cathy family, whose independently managed trust was instrumental in the foundation of Trillis Studios, the Atlanta studio most well known for its frequent work with Marvel. Chick-fil-A's corporate ties to the entertainment industry make this kind of move somewhat easy to wrap your mind around to a certain extent, but it's much harder to imagine people actually wanting to sign up for yet another platform that's probably going to be filled with commercials. So the family that owns Chick-fil-A already has an entertainment background, and from the bits of research I've done, they also have a lot of studios that don't see a lot of work right now. So I believe the idea is to just have those studios churning out content for the streaming platform to hopefully get a little bang for their buck out of those studios that are right now just kind of dormant. So to me, this seems like less of Chick-fil-A itself making this platform, and it kind of just being more of like the face of it to a certain extent. So it's wanting family-friendly content. It's going to be obviously advertising Chick-fil-A, I imagine, but it's more so the family that owns it already has access to these things to make content, so they're just going to try and make it for a streaming platform just to see how it goes, because they can, I guess. Either way, I still think it's a horrible idea, and I don't think anything good is going to come from it. Well, yeah, I guess I could be super wrong about that. It could be an incredible platform, but I don't think so. I don't see that happening. I had to talk about it a little bit, that's it. So, yeah.